Everyone, today we are going to solve chemistry high level paper 2, which was on 19 May 2025 in the Indian subcontinent, and it is a new course first paper which was of 2 hours and 30 minutes, and 90 marks was the total marks of the paper. The first question for this paper is iron sulfide can be produced by heating powdered iron and sulfur together. Okay, describe the difference between an element and a compound. Okay, so they are asking us difference between element and compound. Now, what's an element is? Element is the simplest form of pure substance made up of only one type of atoms. Simplest pure substance which is made up of only one type of atoms. This we can write for it. Made up of only one type of atoms having a characteristic physical and chemical properties, and it cannot be broken down into more simple substances having characteristic physical and chemical properties. Every element has its own characteristic physical and chemical properties. Okay? And it cannot be broken down into simple substances and cannot be chemically broken down into simple substances, into more simple or simpler substances. On the other hand, a compound contains two or more than two elements combined in a definite proportion by mass, or chemically combined in a definite proportion by mass. Contains two or more atoms of elements chemically combined in a definite proportion by mass. Definite proportion by mass. That should be the answer for this question. Part B of question says, outline why solid iron sulfide is a polar covalent compound. Use section 9 and 17 of the data booklet. If I see the section 9 and 17, 17 is this arcal triangle, which is triangular bonding diagram, and 9 is the electronegativity difference values. So first, by using section 9, we find out the electronegativity difference values. If I see for iron, the electronegativity is 1.8, and for sulfur it is 2.6. So the difference of electronegativity delta E 2.6 of sulfur, 1.8 of iron, and that comes out to be 0.8. This is the electronegative difference. And if I find out the average electronegativity, then it will be 2.6 plus 1.8 divided by 2, 2.2. If I see the bonding triangle and find out the two values, the difference of electronegativity is about 2.2. Here it will lie. And electronegativity difference is 0.8, and the average electronegativity is 2.2. It means the compound will lie between polar covalent compound triangular. That is, it will lie in the range of polar covalent compound, not in the ionic range. Hence, it cannot form ionic compound. In this, I can write, since these values will lie, due to this value, the compound will lie in the polar covalent compound range as per the diagram. Therefore, it is polar in nature, not ionic. And also I can say, since sulfur is more electronegative than iron, hence it requires a slight negative charge, iron requires a slight positive charge, making it polar. We can also say in this way, it is polar because sulfur is more electronegative. It will attract the bond pair of electrons slightly towards itself, and getting a slight negative charge on sulfur and a slight positive charge on iron. Slight negative and slight positive, making them covalent compounds. But my answer should be on the basis of the difference of electronegativity and average electronegativity, and these values lie, as per the triangle, they lie in the polar covalent compound range, hence it is polar, not ionic. Okay. Contrast one physical properties of iron and iron sulfide. Now iron is a metal and iron sulfide is a polar covalent compound, and for iron, if we write a property, it is a good conductor of current. We can say because the metal, it is a metal. the metallic iron I will write it's a good conductor of current, and FeS, which is an ionic polar covalent compound, is a bad conductor. This can be a difference. 1 point difference could be this. Or it is malleable and ductile. You can also write malleable, ductile, the properties of metals. And here I can write the properties of polar covalent compounds. It is brittle in nature, not malleable, ductile, but it should be brittle in nature. Okay, so these could be the points which we can write. One physical property between iron and iron sulfide. So we'll write for metal and since this is a polar covalent compound, I'll write for polar covalent compound, which is bad conductors and brittle. Good conductors of current and bad conductor of current. Good electrical conductivity or thermal conductivity, both can write. Good conductors of current. Now the part D says that calculate the wavelength in meter for the limit of convergence observed in the line spectrum of iron. Limit of convergence always means the ionization energy, and we are knowing it, and we should know it that limit of convergence is always ionization energy. And we have to use section 1, 2 and 9 of the data booklet. 9 will give us the ionization energy and 1 and 2 will give us the formula. Now by using section 9 of the data booklet, I can find out the ionization energy of iron, that is E, and that will be equal to ionization of energy of iron, section 9. Section 9 of the data booklet, ionization energy is present, and we talk about iron, then iron ionization energy is 762. If you see the data booklet, you'll find out 762 kilojoule per mole. The ionization energy of iron is 762 kilojoule per mole. Calculate the wavelength in meter for the limit of convergence observed in the line spectrum of iron. Now it is per mole. I have to calculate for 1 atom of iron. Therefore, energy of an atom will be 762 into 10 to the power 3. I will calculate in joules upon 6.02 into 10 to the power 23, which is Avogadro's number. What I will get if I multiply and divide it, I will get 1.266 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule. That will be the energy of an atom. Now we know that frequency F equals to E upon H, or E equals to HF. From that I rewrite the formula F is equal to E upon H, and where H is Planck's constant, energy is 1.266 into 10 to the power minus 18 upon Planck's constant is 6.63 into 10 to the power minus 34, which is I got from section 2 of the data booklet. What I will get? I get frequency equals to 1.91. If I solve it, I will get 1.91 into 10 to the power 10 to the power 15, 10 to the power 15 second to the power minus 1, which will be the unit of frequency. Now I have to calculate wavelength. We know that F equals to C by lambda, or lambda is equal to C upon F. My lambda will be equals to, or the wavelength will be equals to, C is speed of light 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second upon frequency is 1.91 into 10 to the power 15 per second. If I calculate it, then it comes out to be, then the lambda comes out to be 1.57 into 10 to the power minus 7 meters. That will be my answer for this question. What I done in this question is, if you see it again, first by the help of limit of convergence, I find out the ionization energy. And since it is kilojoule per mole, I have to convert it into 1 atom because I require for 1 atom of iron as per this question. I converted this kilojoule into joule multiplied by 10 to the power 3 and then divide by Avogadro's constant to get energy of an atom, which is 1.266 into 10 power minus 18 joule. We know that E equals to HF, and by rewriting this formula, I get F equal to E upon H. That is the energy, the frequency of the atom, or the frequency of the radiation emitted by the atom. I calculated by dividing this energy 1.266 into 10 to the power minus 18 upon Planck's constant 6.6 into 10 power minus 34. I got the frequency 1.91 into 10 power 15 per second, and we know that frequency is equal to C by lambda, and lambda is equal to C upon frequency. C is what? The speed of light. C is the speed of light. And by using 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second and frequency 1.91 into 10 power 15, I got 1.57 into 10 power minus 7 meters, which is my wavelength. That should be the answer for this question, part D. Next, question 2 says cobalt forms colored compounds. Deduce the electronic configuration of CO2 plus ion. Electronic configuration of CO2 plus ion, and we know that cobalt's atomic number is 27 as per the data booklet, and when it loses 2 electrons, it forms CO2 plus ion. The configuration of cobalt, CO, is atom number 27 and we want CO2 plus. The configuration of cobalt is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2 and 3d7. This is the configuration of cobalt. So if it loses 2 electrons, it will lose the 4s electron. These two will be gone. Therefore, the electronic configuration of cobalt will be, we remove these 4s electrons and the configuration will be 3p6, 3d7. Or I can write Ar equals to Ar 3d7. This will be the configuration of CO2 plus ion. 4s2 are removed. 3d7 will be the answer. B part. An equilibrium is established when hydrated cobalt ions are mixed with concentrated HCl. Okay. CuH2O6, which is a pink color from Cl minus of HCl. It converts into ligand exchange. The water as a ligand has been exchanged by the chloride ions. Therefore, it is CoCl4 2 minus. From pink to blue color has been changed. Okay. Predict the effect on the value of K and the equilibrium position when solid sodium chloride NaCl is added to the mixture at constant temperature. Now we know that NaCl is an ionic compound. It will contain Cl minus ions. And these Cl minus ions, Na plus and Cl minus, is ionic compound. And these Cl minus ions, they will increase the concentration of Cl minus ions in this equilibrium reaction, due to which the concentration of reactant increases, reaction will move in forward direction, making the color more blue or increasing the concentration of CoCl4. Predict the effect on the value of K and equilibrium position. Equilibrium will move in forward direction, and that is the concentration of CoCl4 will increase. But since the value of K is dependent only on temperature and we are carrying out it at constant temperature, there will be no change in the value of K. What I should write? I write the value of K will not change. Will not change as it depends only on temperature. Whereas addition of NaCl will increase Cl minus ions, that is reactants, due to which the equilibrium reaction will shift in forward direction. And when it is shifting in forward direction, what will happen? The concentration of CoCl4 will increase. Thus, CoCl4 2 minus concentration will increase. The color will become more blue. That should be the complete answer, but he is asking you predict. So you can get mark for predicting or writing no change and reaction will shift in forward direction. These two will be the keywords which will give you the mark. Second point is heating an equilibrium mixture that is initially pink changes the color to purplish blue. Deduce giving a reason where the formation of CoCl4 2 minus is an exothermic or endothermic reaction. Now if I am increasing temperature, the color from pink moving towards bluish pink, that is the reaction moving in forward direction. And this can happen only when the forward direction is endothermic in nature. Since on increasing temperature, the reaction moving in towards right hand side or product side or forward direction, and this can happen only when the forward direction is endothermic in nature, and thus the formation of CoCl4 is an endothermic process. So what should I write? Since on increasing temperature, the reaction is moving towards right hand side or forward direction, towards right hand side or forward direction, that is forming more of CoCl4 2 minus. Thus, as per Leach-Atlas principle, as we increase temperature, the reaction always move towards endothermic side. Thus, as per Leach-Atlas principle, the forward reaction should be endothermic in nature. reaction should be endothermic. Okay, endothermic. Why? Because as per Lee clears, if you increase temperature increases, reaction always move towards, if you increase temperature, reaction always move towards endothermic side. And since in this case the forward reaction is endothermic because CCl4 concentration is increasing. That should be the answer for this question. Now question 3, next question. An equilibrium is established between gaseous carbon monoxide and steam. This is carbon monoxide and steam reacting to form carbon dioxide and hydrogen, all the gases. Under certain condition of temperature and pressure, 2.7 mole of carbon monoxide and 2.9 mole of water, okay, or steam are placed in 1 DMQ container and allowed to reach equilibrium. So this is an equilibrium based question. State the equilibrium constant expression K for this equilibrium reaction. And K we always know is equal to concentration of product, that is CO2, into steam H2O concentration upon CO2 into H2. The part A says that state the equilibrium constant K for this equilibrium reaction. Okay, and we know that K equals to concentration of product, which is CO2 concentration into H2 concentration upon concentration of reactant, which is carbon monoxide concentration into steam concentration. That should be the expression for K. At equilibrium, there was 1.5 mole of CO2 present. Calculate the amount in mole of other gases and hence the value of equilibrium constant. Okay, for this we have to make a table: carbon monoxide, steam, carbon dioxide and hydrogen. This will be the table. And first we'll find out the initial concentration. Initial concentration given to us is carbon monoxide given is 2.7 mole of carbon monoxide. It is given up here, 2.7 mole of carbon monoxide here, 2.9 mole of H2O, 2.7 and 2.9. Okay, initially the CO2 and H2 should be 0 because it is the initial concentration. And at equilibrium we found that 1.5 mole of CO2 is present, 1.5 mole of CO2 is present, and since the volume is 1 dm3, therefore concentration and moles will be same. 1.5, it is 1.5, then the ratio, the equation is balanced, it is also 1.5 mole. In moles term the ratio will be same, H2 will be also 1.5. Now CO and H2O, they will be used in the same ratio, that is 2.7 minus 1.5 will be used. Therefore the remaining will be 2.7 minus 1.5, the remaining at equilibrium is 1.2. And similarly 2.9 minus 1.5, the remaining will be 1.4. What are the concentrations of other gases? 1.2, 1.4, 1.5 and 1.5. Now putting these values in K, what I will get? It is CO into H2, CO2 into H2, CO2 is 1.5 into 1.5 upon 1.2 into 1.4, which is your equilibrium concentration of carbon monoxide and steam. On calculation, I get the answer will be 1.34. On calculation, I get the answer 1.34, and if I leave it in least SF, that is 1.5, the answer will be 1.3. That should be the answer. Yes. Part C says a mixture of CO2 and H2 can be used in a molten carbonate fuel cell, which is shown below, which is similar to a hydrogen fuel cell. Okay, here gases are out, CO2 and H2 are in, and this is anode, cathode and electrolyte, which contains carbonate ions. Unused CO2 and O2 are passed out from here, and CO2 and O2 are in from here. Okay, this is the what I can see from this diagram. What is asking? Deduce the half equation for the reaction occurring at each electrode, that is at anode and cathode. What are the half reaction taking place? We have to write. Now since oxidation always takes place at anode and the carbonate ion is reacting at anode, there will be oxidation reaction at anode with the hydrogen gas coming inside it. It will react with the hydrogen gas, carbonate ions will react with the hydrogen gas coming in, and what it will convert into? It will convert into carbon dioxide. Along with carbon dioxide, it will form water, H2O, and electrons are given out. This should be the equation. If I balance it, 2 negative charge means 2 electrons are given out, 2 hydrogen, 3 oxygen, 2 oxygen balanced. But that first part, this is at anode, this will take place, that oxidation is taking place. Whereas cathode reduction will take place, and at cathode the CO2 gas is coming in. This CO2 gas is forming the carbonate ions, therefore it should have a 2 negative charge also. Therefore the CO2 gas should combine with oxygen, O2, and that is only the half O2 plus 2 electrons. It is reduction taking place, therefore it will accept electrons and converts into CO3 2 minus. That should be the next equation for this, which is the cathodic equation. and here there will be nothing will come at here because all charges and elements are balanced. So that should be the answer for part 2. Suggest why the molten carbonate fuel is considered to be environmental friendly. Now what we observe in this, carbon dioxide is in and carbon monoxide unused and oxygen are again passed in. So what I can see, we can see unused, they are again passed in from here. Therefore, we can say there is no pollutant gases or carbon monoxide are emitted out. There is a zero emission of pollution gases. Or the pollutant gases, they are not emitted. Or we can say this cell has very least pollution. Very less pollution. This cell is causing very less pollution, therefore environmental friendly. No net carbon dioxide emission is taking place. Emissions. There is no net carbon dioxide emissions taking place. I can write this point also. As per this equation, there is no net carbon dioxide because carbon dioxide produced at anode is utilized at cathode. So there will be no net CO2. Hence, it's almost pollution free. No pollution, no global warming, no global warming. It will not result to any global warming or it will not cause any. There is no global warming because there is no greenhouse effect. No greenhouse gas is released. Hence, no greenhouse effect will cause, therefore, no global warming. I think these should be the answers as per the answer key. More detailed help in IB and IGCSE examination, you can visit to this website www.ibvijyain.com, and this website has many useful features for IB and IGCSE, like we have test papers, we have topic wise question banks, we have topic wise practice papers, and a comprehensive course which contains all complete study material which is required for the IB preparation, and that contains the practice papers, the test papers, the question banks, the subjective question banks, the question bank for paper 1B. And one unique feature of this is, if you attempt these papers and practice papers, the MCQ will be automatically checked and the answers will be received as soon as you submit the papers. Whereas the subjective question banks or question papers, if you write and upload on the website, then these will be checked by the experts and the result will be sent to you within 48 hours. And I hope this will be helpful for your preparations. So I recommend you to please go and visit this website, and if you think it is useful, you can buy it and purchase it. Thank you very much once again. Thank you.